Fantasy Basketball Rankings, Top 20 for 2022-23 in the NBA. In order to get ready for the upcoming season, it is time to take another look at the fantasy landscape with training camps starting this week and the first preseason game on September 30th. Here are the most recent fantasy basketball rankings from RotoWire. These rankings can be used as a general guide for the majority of fantasy basketball formats, even though they were designed primarily for 8-category roto leagues. No one should be surprised with the number 1 overall player. The two-time defending MVP or the top scorer who produced the most fantasy points in each of the last 2 seasons, and this fall, he'll be the overwhelming favorite to go first in most drafts, regardless of the format. Towards the end of the video, you'll see the top 5 in our ranking. 20. Devin Booker, PHO. Despite MVP talk, Booker's 2021-22 season was just third among his fantasy seasons. Nevertheless, he is still developing and may see increased playing time as Chris Paul gets older. 19. Anthony Davis, LAL. Davis's per-game statistics have noticeably declined, and he also still endures season after season of serious ailments. He did, however, place as high as second overall in terms of per-game value during his first season in Los Angeles, and it's probable that if the Lakers bench Russell Westbrook next season, he will once more be a major emphasis of the offense. 18. Paul George, LAC. George had a promising start before suffering an injury that caused him to miss several months of play. Kawhi Leonard's ceiling might not be as high now that he is back in action. 17. Rudy Gobert, from Minnesota, finished in the top 30 in 5 of the previous 6 seasons, despite having poor free throw shooting that limits his potential. Though the transition to Minnesota will be challenging, his fantasy value should largely hold steady. 16. Anthony Edwards, Miami. The 2019 number 1 overall pick ceiling might rise significantly, but playing with high-usage teammates like Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell lowers it. 15. Tyrese Haliburton, IND. Despite being traded from Sacramento to Indiana in the middle of the season, the 22-year-old finished second overall in steals, 134, and fourth in assists, 628. 14. Darius Garland, CLE. In his final 25 games of the season, Garland averaged 25.3 points, 9.3 assists, 3.1 rebounds, 1.6 steals, and 2.6 three-pointers, 88% FT, making him one of last season's biggest breakouts. Although Donovan Mitchell's entry will have an influence on his scoring totals, Garland should continue to be a reliable supplier of assists, steals, and threes. 13. Damian Lillard, POR. After an injury-shortened 2021-22 season that seemed destined from the start, Lillard has earned the benefit of the doubt due to his consistency over the past 10 years. 12. LeBron James, LAL. James gets a pass because of his 19th NBA season averages of 30.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.1 blocks, but recent lower body problems are cause for concern. 11. LaMelo Ball, CHA. This season, Ball established himself as a top 15 fantasy player, and with a greater free throw shooting percent, he might move much higher. 10. Trae Young, ATL. There is a case to be made that Young might be selected before Stephen Curry at this juncture in their respective careers. Young came in second place behind Nikola Jokic in the player rankings for 2021-2022. 9. Kevin Durant, BKN. Durant is unquestionably a top 5 bargain on a per-game basis, but injuries have only led him to play in 90 games overall over the past 2 seasons. A month before the 2022-23 season starts, Durant will be 34, and his future is still in doubt. 8. Stephen Curry, GSW. After a scorching start, Curry progressively cooled off over the season. Curry still finished as a top 7 player in terms of value per game, despite having the worst shooting season of his career, by a wide margin. 7. Karl Anthony Towns, MIN. Towns played in 74 games and regained top fantasy status after missing considerable time in both 2019-20 and 2020-21. Rudy Gobert's acquisition, though, might have an effect on his rebounding statistics. 6. James Harden, PHI. Despite having a disastrous season overall last year, Harden still managed to finish with 22.0 points, 10.3 assists, 7.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals while ranking 7th in the NBA in free throw percentage. 5. Jason Tatum, BOS. Tatum had a strong second half of the season that carried over to the playoffs after a slow start to the year. He's a solid fantasy choice thanks to his elite offense and durability combo. 4. Joel Embiid, PHI. In each of the previous 2 seasons, Embiid ranked among the top 5 players in terms of value per game. However, were his 68 games played in 2021-22 the best-case scenario? 3. Luka Doncic, DAL. Doncic keeps improving in real life, but his unreliable free throw shooting and ongoing injury problems have kept him from making a significant fantasy improvement. The year he genuinely ascends may be this one. 2. Giannis Antetokounmpo, MIL. Although his free throw percentage will always put a ceiling on his fantasy potential, Antetokounmpo's counting metrics and demonstrated durability help make up for it. 1. Nikola Jokic, DN. Jokic is as near to the unanimous top pick as it gets, consistently ranking as the best player overall in almost every format over the past 2 seasons. Shout out to the following subscribers and commenters on the previous video: Ramel Gonzalez, Dan Reed, Susan Bayabos, Luca Kalev, Aina Nebras, John Roniel Pasit, Uncut Hoops, PS_M, 3 Bun, Budonson, Sulis Deba, Jackson, Roman RSK, Usatility, Incognito Money, BTM Basketball Time Machine, Delay, The Universe Galaxy NBA, Boss Advisory. Thank you for your subscriptions and comments. If you are not yet subscribed, please do so now. Thank you all.